My name is Haley Evans. I'm a teaching artist in Birmingham. I teach theater and music. Sometimes I teach in a school system, and I teach actual language arts through theater or music. Sometimes I just do theater. I think that it just comes from being a ham to a certain extent, and also music speaks to me. I've always said, if you want me to really understand something, write a song about it and I will understand it perfectly.
All I do is dream of you the whole day through. With the dawn I still go on dreaming of you. Now Layla's gonna come in. Every thought, everything, every song I ever sing. Summer, winter, autumn, and spring.
Those kids are like sponges. They pick it up and they love it, and then they come to class the next day and they say, I taught everybody at my house that game, Miss Haley, and we played that game all night long. So it's neat to see that it's affecting them more than just in school, but in their personal lives as well.
A C? A C. I got a C on my coat hanger project. How could anyone get a C on a coat hanger project? May I ask a question? Was I judged on the piece of artwork itself? If so, is it not true that time alone can judge a work of art?
Things have become so heavily based on testing and standardized tests that they really have no time to create. And when they're at home, they spend their time, rather than when I was growing up, I'd put on a cape or a dress or something and play pretend, and they play video games.
If I was judged on my effort, then I was judged unfairly, because I tried as hard as I could. Or maybe I was judged on what I had learned from this project. Then were not you, my teacher, also being judged on your ability to transmit your knowledge to me? Do you want to share my C?
So a lot of the games I play really ask the children to open their imagination. It not only does it open up their imaginations, it gets them thinking and allows them to say, well, if this is so, then possibly I know the answer to this question already.
Middle school is trouble. My friend Zachary thinks he's a Greek god. Not true. Anybody who thinks they're a Greek god is totally crazy.
Well, I know that the Birmingham city schools are really trying to implement an arts integration curriculum, which would be using the arts, music, theater, dance, and taking the lessons and the standards, Alabama standards, that they have to teach, and formulating lesson plans that use theater to teach those concepts.
I think it has to be a balance. I think art skills must be taught. So I think students have to have the vocabulary of the art, whether it be music or visual arts or dance or theater. And then I think the more connections we make with other subject areas, the more solid the knowledge is. So I think we help each other. I think the arts become stronger, but I think the other subject areas become stronger as well.
I started off in the public schools, and then later came up and worked with the dance company here in Birmingham. And after that, I began teaching Suzuki violin. I was hired by the Alabama Symphony in the beginning. Now I direct the program myself as Birmingham Suzuki violinist, and we've been together at least 25, 30 years. Yeah, the Suzuki method is about developing the whole child, not just the musical training. So what the child learns is going to apply to musical training, and is going to be a step, an approach to their furthering their own interests in education. But basically, most children that study in the Suzuki method are not going to become professional musicians, and it's not intended for that. It's intended for them to become more well-rounded, to become music appreciators and amateurs, and to just bring more to their life, than than video games or whatever else that they're distracted by these days.
I think everything we do is some form of expression. And so that's what the arts do. They give us the tools to express ourselves.
I'll share a story with you. I went to college with a girl named Brittany. She was an acting directing major. When she graduated from college, all of us who are in the arts know it's difficult to find jobs at times in your field. So she applied for a job at Hoover Toyota. And she was brought in because the guy looked briefly at her resume and saw acting and thought accounting. Well, she nailed her interview because with a theater background, you just become more personable and more easy to communicate. You take speech classes and you learn about how to communicate with people. And he loved her so much that after realizing his mistake of accounting, acting, he hired her anyway and then hired someone to train her to be an accountant. So it's one of those things that it really just can enhance your personal life and enhance your people skills. And you can walk into a room and converse with anybody.
I know a young man who, at the age of 16, because of a bad family life, was on his own. And he said that had it not been for theater, he would have quit high school. But theater kept him in high school. He earned a scholarship, went on to college, majored in theater education, and is now a theater teacher himself.
There's really been a change over the last few years of not so much telling about the art as discussing the art, as them as the children or the adult having a personal reaction to the art, and then you talk about it. Right. So there's really we don't want them to get a feeling that that's a piece of art and it means, and that's the only thing it means.
I think that our history, our society, everything that we are as human beings is based on our arts. You know, I really do. Yes, I think we have to be very careful. I do believe in arts for art's sake. I do think that we have to be, it's a careful balance. When I say arts integration, I want to make sure that if I'm integrating the arts, I'm not just using a song, a little ditty of a song, to teach the alphabet, but that there's some musical concept or some musical value in that activity as well.
The challenge for Alabama is appropriate education funding, basically.
I just got an email this week because the National Endowment for the Arts lost, I think, $155 million. It will affect education eventually because money that comes from the federal government to the state level, if it's less, then the money that comes to the local school system will also be less.
Find yourself an arts program that you like and that you believe in, and donate as much as you can, and write letters to all of our government officials. Is so much more than just teaching a lesson. It's teaching confidence. It's teaching them those things they might be losing within their community, which is be brave, step up to the plate, take action, and succeed in life.
I think our whole society and our whole culture is based on the arts, and I think if we lose the arts, we're losing ourselves.